Hi there, thanks for joining me today. My name is Susan Timchak and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And what I wanted to share with you is something I've been playing with. My desk is total disaster, so I'm so glad you can't see the rest of it. But this is a new Stampin' Up! Catalog that just came out in June, actually June 1st. And I use that as my bookmark. And I ordered this You Move Me stamp set along with the Move Me Thinlits, which actually if you purchase it as a bundle, you'll be able to save 10% on that. So when I first saw this, I kind of thought, that's kind of odd looking. And until I saw it at our on-stage convention was when I really understood how the whole thing worked. So looking at this in the catalog, you may think that's kind of weird looking, but when you see what the two of these products do together, you're going to want to add that to your collection. Sorry, my allergies are killing me. It's like 90 degrees here today in Pennsylvania, and I'm just hiding in the house all day because everything is in bloom, and so I apologize for my voice. All right, so here's one of the cards I created. I have a couple samples and I want to show you how the mechanism works. I'm not going to actually go through step by step the whole process, but just to kind of show you how to throw a card together using this so you'll have the little gist of it. And what this is this is a basic card. And Dory's wanting to come up here, of course, all day long. You know, she hasn't bothered me. Now today she hears me chatting, so right away she wants to come here. So, okay, so here's how it works. So it's a basic card, and I did a little bit of layering on top. All right, Dory, those are my samples to show my friends. And when you you stamp the inside just like this with two different stamps, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to demo that. And this is a really cool new punch we have, which makes this little rounded tab. It's really cute. So you'll stamp this and you put this inside the pocket. I'm going to make sure that I'm in camera view here. Okay, so ready? When you pull this, I'm hoping the camera's picking that up. When you pull that, let me go back and do a couple times. It looks like the hummingbird is in flight. I'm hoping the camera's picking that up so you can see that. I mean, in person, it's really cool. So that's a hummingbird one. Excuse me. It also does a butterfly. So here's a butterfly one, and this one I just kind of didn't make it into a full card. I mean, you could put a piece of cardstock on the back and do your little writing on there. But just, again, my samples playing around. These dies also come with it in the the die portion of the bundle. So here's the butterfly. And inside I just kind of stamped things. Excuse me, you move me with your kindness. So I'm hoping that this is picking it up on the camera, because I mean I'm seeing it moving, and it actually looks like it's fluttering. Isn't that cool? Can you see that? Please be sure to leave a comment down below if you can see that. I mean, it just makes you want to just keep playing and playing, and it's basically done with the two different stamps in the set. Now I did one other, okay, Doris. I did one other project. I used a one of our dies that makes these really cute little bags. And I did it on our designer series paper. This is part of the Daisy Suite. I did the butterfly. And I'm not so sure if this picks it up or not. But I mean, it really looks pretty with the patterned paper. I really love it. So there's another one there. Okay, so let me show you how the whole thing goes together. So I'm using Elegant Eggplant, and this is just a base card. I stamped one of the butterflies that also comes with it. I used a coordinating paper like I used on this bundle as well. And I have a card front. So this is your basic, excuse me, A2 size card, 5.5 by 11, cut at 5.5, cut at 5.5 and scored. And you make your basic card. We all know how to do that, right? If you don't, leave me a comment. I'll show you there's a video I did to show you how to do that. Then I cut a piece that's just 1/4 of an inch smaller. Okay, so Let's just take 1/4 of an inch off 2 sides. And now this is a piece of the shimmer white. I'm not sure if the camera picks up the shimmer white, but this piece is 1/4 of an inch smaller off the one side and 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. So it's a little bit smaller. May have to trim a little more on that. So this is the piece we're going to stamp on. Excuse me. And I apologize. I'm probably going to keep doing that because I just, like I said, yeah, the allergies are just killing me. Well, let me just grab a scrap piece of something to stamp on. Okay. So I have the 2 different stamps from the kit. And the 2 that I'm using are these 2 butterflies. So if you wanted to do the hummingbird, you could use these 2. So the larger one, and again, Elegant Eggplant is the color ink I'm using. Okay, so the larger one, I'm going to ink up, and this is my old style ink pad, the linen one. Probably needs a little bit of re-inking, so I'm really making sure I get some ink on it. I'm going to stamp this one down at the bottom. Okay, and now this is a little bit smaller one, it's a little more narrower. I'm going to ink that one up. I have a piece of scrap paper here. I want to stamp that off. And then this one is going to get aligned up. And sorry if my head's in the way. You're using the base of the tail and the head to align it up. Okay, so you get that. And I only used 1 ink pad on this. Let me close all this up, clean all this, move it all aside. Okay, so you could stamp your sentiment and all that and do that whole thing, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, I'm just showing you the basics of how to put it together. Okay, so that part is done. Let me move this. So now this front piece of the card, this is part of the framelets. Like I said, my desk is a mess. The framelit dies that come with it. And this is one of them. And this is like it reminds me of like what a vent would look like. And pardon me while I reach down, get my Big Shot. This is our die cutting machine. So you will need this in order to create the sample that I'm doing today. So I have my piece. That was my front piece. And I'm going to align this up down toward one of the ends on there. And I'm using my precision base plate because that helps with the fine lines of this die. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through the Big Shot. And I need to have more Wheaties, I think. And then I'm going to run it on back again. I'm also using my left hand, and I'm really right-handed, so I don't know why I'm using my left hand, just the way I'm sitting, I suppose. Okay, so let's take that and move that out of our way. Okay, so you'll go ahead and you'll pop this out. Okay, and then here's your little pieces. Now, gently, because you don't want to tear them, because I learned that in my first couple that I made, kind of just pushing from behind. And these are just going to peel right out. Now, if you could think of something to use, these little strips. I mean, I suppose if you did it with green, you can use it for grass. You know, I'm sure there's someone out there that will come up with something. Okay, that little bugger wanted to stick a little bit. Okay, there we go. But right now, it's going to be trash for me. Okay, so we want to create our card. So here's our base plate. Here's our card. Now these are our foam adhesive strips. They're very nice and long. They come with 2 sheets of them. And they're just like our dimensionals, but they're long strips. So I'm going to turn this over. And what I want to create with this is basically like a little pocket. So this will be my bottom down here. And it has sticky on one side, which I already peeled off. And I'm just going to align this up here on the side. And get my scissors and trim this. I'm going to save that piece. I'm going to get another piece. Dory's playing now on the floor with the paper. I have my ceiling fan going and it's blowing papers about. My extra scraps. She's having a good time down there, so go for it. Okay, so my little strips that I saved, I'm going to go across the bottom. This one I'm going to have to trim. So this is basically going to raise this section up and create like a little pocket. All right, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to peel these off. This will take off this paper, and the sticky side will be ready for us. This is the same way you can make shaker cards. If you've made shaker cards before, these little adhesive strips are really great for that. Okay, so now I'm going to eyeball this, and I'm going to apply this to the front of my card, just like so. Now you can decorate this however you want. Let me see, I did some butterflies that I cut out with the designer series paper. You can use the bold butterfly and this, although it doesn't show up too well with this, but if you flip over our designer series paper, we have this on the other side. You can embellish with that. You know, you can embellish how I did these two. However you want to embellish it, you go ahead and embellish it. So that piece that we stamped before, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch out, I have this scrap piece here, one of my little tabs, using this new circle tab punch, which is going to be so much fun for catalogs and things. This has a little score mark where you score it, and then you add a little bit of glue. There is my glue. Here we are. I'm going to put a little bit down the bottom, down the center, across the bottom, and I'm going to make this like a little pull tab at the top. Although, let me try it first, make sure. You know, let me just trim off before I go any further. Trim off a little smidgen on the side because it's a little tight going through there. That's better. That's better. Okay, so you just want to make sure you do that before you get your card all assembled, and then once they're assembled and you're all ready to go, it might be too late. Now you could even stamp, you know, on here like I did for this one. You can stamp on there, and again, decorate this however you want. So now this should work. So we'll put that in there, and here goes our fluttering butterfly. Can you see that? I hope you guys can see that. Let's start again. Put them down the bottom. Doesn't it look like it's just fluttering right off the page? Isn't that cool? Do you love that? Please make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know. I can't stop. Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, so anyhow, it's on page 170 in the current Stampin' Up! Catalog. Purchase the bundle, save 10%, and it's the You Move Me bundle. The item number for that is 145322. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so they do tell you down at the bottom here what size blocks that you need in order to, there goes my paper cutter. Sorry, in order to stamp the images. So thanks for joining me. I'll leave a link down below that links right to my store. I hope you enjoyed this card, and I'm gonna flutter on out of here and wish you a super Stampin' day, and see you all again real soon. Bye for now.